As a tradition here, this month's show is sponsored by the fine folks at Benedictine University. Please join me in welcoming to the stage Joe Wilson and Kevin Broeckling. Come on up, Joe and Kevin.
Well, the years start coming and they don't stop coming.
Dance to that.
Yeah, please dance.
You don't want me to dance.
We encourage
Sally's
dancing
laughing.
whenever possible. Kevin, Joe, nice to meet you. Did you feel like you missed out on a little dance time?
No, I'm fine.
Okay. Save it up and dance when you leave.
Okay.
Now, we're not looking forward to you leaving, but we're looking forward to the dance part.
Yeah.
So tell us a little bit about, I introduced you as Joe and Kevin. Tell us a little bit more about who you are and how you got to Benedictine.
Okay, I'm Joe Wilson. I got to Benedictine by being the startup administrator for the campus when they came out here, and I just retired from MCC, and they tapped me to come and get started. Worked with them for 5 years, took off a couple of years, and I'm back now as the community relations representative for the college.
Well, good for you. Yay. And Kevin, tell us a little bit about yourself.
I'm Kevin Broeckling. I've been with Benedictine University for 20 years now. Not here, in Illinois previously, but I came out here to start student life, and now I serve as the CEO for the campus.
Oh, that's great. So, okay, you told us how you got to Benedictine. How did Benedictine evolve and end up in Mesa?
Well, many of you have heard about the HEAT initiative that Mayor Scott Smith created. And in the HEAT initiative, the E stood for education. And one of the things that he saw needing in the ability to have economic development in our city was to have a good workforce, which means we needed educated students that could provide that workforce. And it was through that city and through the initiative that we were invited to town. This is about 2012 we started, and we've been here ever since, grown quite a bit, and excited to be part of the community. And the community has really been very receptive and helped us. Particularly Chamber and Sally has been exceptionally good in their relationship with us. So it's been a good adventure.
That's great. Now, how would you describe Benedictine's belief in Mesa?
Kevin? You've been here recent.
Well, I think maybe a good way to describe it, reflect what Joe just said, the idea of community, right? We came here a little bit on a wing and a prayer with a lot of encouragement and a lot of investment in time, energy, effort, because we believed in what we saw when we first got here. And there was a sense, we had dinner with our president last night, and he talked about the sense of community that we felt as soon as we got here, and I think that's something that we've really enjoyed because it's one of our hallmarks. It's one of the values that we work to share with our students. And it's something that we have not stopped experiencing for the last 7 years. It's been fantastic.
That's great. I know that Benedictine, your mascot is the Red Hawks.
That's right.
And you're quite proud of your athletic prowess. Why don't you talk a little bit about that?
Well, we are quite proud of our athletes. We have a really strong athletic department led by Steve Schaefer. And last year, it was our fourth year of volleyball, first year with a national championship. Our men's volleyball team went and won the national championship in the NAI. So we're really, really proud of that. We've had really competitive baseball, really competitive softball, basketball, golf. We play out at Los Sendas. We just have great teams, and it's all led by a great guy in Steve Schaefer. He's top notch.
That's all. How many students do you have at Benedictine?
We're about 500 students right now. We have 444 traditional undergraduate students plus an MBA program on top of that. We have graduated 435 students from Benedictine into the community, and those are students who are doing good stuff in the community. We have students who are working here in the Valley. We have students who have moved to other parts of the country, but we're working to keep them here. We want them to stay in Mesa. That's what the mayor says to our graduates every time he has a chance to talk to them. It's like the only thing that he asked after you graduate is that you never leave Mesa. And we're working to help make that happen.
Yeah.
That's all. Well, why would you leave, really?
You know what? After being here, I really don't know.
Yeah.
There's no real reason to leave.
This is the time of the year, too, you call all your friends back in Illinois and rub in how much, well, the weather's been weird here for a couple of days, but Still better than back there.
This is the time of the year where all of our friends in Illinois come out here
Exactly.
and realize how lucky we are. Yeah.
That's exactly right. Where's the physical location of Benedictine?
It's right downtown, 225 East Main Street, which was, for many of you in the audience, you know, the old Southside Hospital on it. And it stood vacant for several years, and it's owned by the city. And that was one of the initiatives in bringing us downtown, was to use some of the properties that the city owned in the downtown area and to help revitalize downtown. So it was renovated, and if you've never been there, I encourage all of you to come visit. It's a phenomenal building.
That's great.
Yeah.
Hey, speaking of outside interest, I think we have a picture of Kevin. Where's, do we have a picture of Kevin? Evidently there's, you either like
Yeah.
nighttime spelunking
It's a great picture.
or cave diving.
Yeah, yeah.
I don't even know I've never even heard I know what spelunking is, but what is cave diving?
Well, I have no idea. I don't cave dive.
That's a Bob thing.
Well, from now on you do.
This is a Bob Steele off of social media. I have a hobby of barbecue. I'm a big fan of barbecue, and my wife, for her birthday, I smoke a pork butt, and this year
I'm sorry?
I smoked some meat, some pork, for my wife.
This is an all ages show, Kevin.
You get your students.
Please not talk about smoking pork butt this early in the morning.
And in this specific picture, it was the first time I smoked a brisket. I had a 16-pound brisket. It was an 18-hour smoke, so I started it at 8:30 p.m., and I had to go all through the night to make sure it was ready for dinner the next day. So I was geared up. I had my headlamp. I had my remote thermometer, so I could try to take a nap. But that night, it actually, one of the few nights around here where it got below 35 degrees. So trying to keep a temperature between 230 and 250 when it's below 35 is, well, there wasn't much sleep that happened that night. But the brisket turned out great.
The things we do for barbecue.
That's right.
That's awesome. So if a student is watching today on Channel 11 and they think that Benedictine might be a good fit for them, how do they get started? What's the process?
Go ahead.
I mean, really, normally I would say the best thing to do is to come to campus. You can check us out online if you're not comfortable being physically in a location. We have great recruiters who are going to help carry you through the process. Mm-hmm. I think a big part of any collegiate student experience is getting to understand how you fit on a campus. So being there, being present, talking to the people that you're going to be meeting and interact with is, I think, such an important part. And for us, even though we're going to be a little bit virtual for the next couple of weeks, we're working to maintain that, because that's part of who we are as a Benedictine institution. We want our students to know who we are. I have a couple students here with me from the leadership program that Joe started 7 years ago. And it's just one of the gifts of being on a campus like ours is that we get to interact with our students on a daily basis. We understand who they are, what they do, and our students get to interact with us on a daily basis to learn about what we do and help make connections and make contacts in the community by coming to things like this. So, you know what, I've been with Benedictine for 20 years, and you know, I realize that's kind of odd anymore for somebody to stay at a place that long, but Benedictine is a really, really special place. The values that we work to espouse, the people who are on our campus, and the students that we get to serve, it makes it who we are. So it's really special.
I oftentimes have people ask me, I've retired a few times, and why did I come to Benedictine after I'd finished my career previously? And it's exactly that. It's the values and the community and the students. And I've often said I'm glad I'm finishing my career at Benedictine because of those values. But the students are absolutely phenomenal. And when you walk on campus, you feel that community, you feel that engagement, and it's small enough that they get to know people. And so it's just a really special place.
We brought her out of retirement twice. I mean, if that tells you anything.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Well, does he lure you back with brisket?
You know, I haven't had that.
That would work for me.
No.
That's going to be a summer project.
That's a summer project. Okay, I have gone to where he judged it. He's a judge. You didn't know that either. In Cholo, I visited when he was judging a barbecue contest.
There's a lot of stuff we don't know about Kevin. We got to have you back so we know. We'll chip away at that.
For you, Mark, I would love to do that.
All right, perfect. Well, we know you're busy, and thank you so much for taking time out of your schedule. Thanks for making Benedictine what it is, and for the business folks that are not only here in the audience but watching on TV, how would you like for them to engage with the students?
Well, yeah, go ahead.
We have lots of opportunities to engage because we want our students to experience what life is like after college. We're all about the practical application of what we do. So we've had lots of our students work with chamber members and other businesses in downtown and around Mesa through internships, job shadowing, volunteer opportunities, all of those things. We've had businesses come and a class might do a special project for a business, things like that. We try to create a lot of opportunities to bring the community to our students and get our students in the community. So you have an idea, contact us, and we would love to talk about it.
One of the pluses we've had in the past, a few years ago, Sally and our president, Charlie Gregory, conceived of the idea of having a junior chamber of commerce. And that was really an exciting adventure for the students. We're going to try to revamp it again and get it going again. But it was an opportunity, and some of you in the audience I know were sponsors of that. And the students had to work 50 hours, either at the chamber events, or with the businesses who are sponsors. And they had an opportunity to engage with people, to see what their profession looked like and things. So it was really a very successful program. So I say thank you to the chamber and to Sally for all that they've done for that.
Thank you for keeping Sally busy. She really doesn't have much to do.
She doesn't.
She's hardly ever at any events or involved with anything. So
Yeah.
thanks for keeping her off the streets. Hey, we appreciate you being here. Come back and see us anytime. And I encourage you all, if you're down in that area, set aside some time to stop by and check it out. It's a great place.
Yeah.
Thanks so much for
Thank
coming
you,
in.
Mark. Appreciate it.
Thanks, Joe. Thanks, Kevin. See you.